March 1st, 2024, my subpoenas are all signed, half of them, doing about another half because I got to do all the other counties and we got to get all the Parkland crew in here and some of these mayors of Parkland. But here we go. Here's the scumbag Jonathan Lewis that did that for everyone from Northport to Sarasota with Benderson. He left Northport, went to Sarasota right after I did this badass baseball stadium that Benderson blocked. Benderson needs to go. So there's the 5 commissioners. It's all signed. See? It took me a day. They weren't going to sign them. They were trying to block it, the clerk, but I got them spooked as I called the feds and a video popped up and all of a sudden they started doing them. So there's all the commissioners. You guys had till this Wednesday to get the free power and water bills. And there's past commissioners. I got to get Mayo in there. Here's these are all the judges in Sarasota Circuit 12. That's the chief judge. There's Judge Rule. She was on my lien case, disappeared. Williams, he's the worst, one of the worst ones ever. He needs to go to prison. Walker is the worst. He's the earner that came in and did everything right after the fraud transfer rubber stamp. They put him on my new cases. That's how cocky they are. Krug, he's Notre Dame. He was a Notre Dame quarterback. He's a punk. He set it all up with Lee Pilardi. Diana Moss, she's new, but she avoided me. I got to ask her some questions I'm not going to disclose. Brunning and all these guys I sued, they had a fiduciary duty to report it to the Attorney General, the fraud transfer. All these judges knew about it. You have to do something. You can't stand there with time terrorism. Felix is new, but he was in the state attorney's office when he did the request to prosecute, and all of a sudden they were blocking us to watch his inauguration. Charles Roberts from Duke, that's a Bush boy. He took off and ran. He took away the video ability in the courtrooms. He's a clown. He was the judge through the fraud transfer, chief judge. Here's Rochelle Curley. I think she's decent. We're going to get some good answers out of her. Hunter Carroll, he's national. He was on the Mayo thing. I didn't get a chance to serve him, but he's going to answer some questions because he knows the rodeo boys over here. See, here's the Circuit 12 Judge Hall, he's the biggest spoiled brat on the planet. His wife's in Naples. They've been setting it up with Severio and Hall. They've known Buck since they were kids, went to high school. He knew about the river. Parker's his boss, Mr. Big Cow. We need to take all his cattle and all his land, donate it to the poor when this is over. Guy Flowers is over there with him hanging out. This one here is the super rich Carlton family. She took off. She was there through the whole fraud transfer. Her sister Lisa Carlton, that's the Carlton Ranch. That's who's behind a lot of it, most of it. Judge Brewer, that's Parker's granddaughter, I think it is. They're all a gang. Here's the guys that did it. Lawrence Hall, Kenny Harrison, who sat on the Peace River board. He's sitting next to her. He leases off Peace River Water Plant. He's the little monkey in the middle that catches everyone. Pilardi, he's a piece of shit, and Howells. These are the two. That's Tampa, and that's Manatee. The Bank of Manatee, there's DeBartolo and all the Notre Dame Rough Riders with who? All the guys that did the Boston bomb thing, which is right here. Judge Conrad, who worked with Swiftmod as a consultant, and Judge Dominguez. Big Chief Judge Dominguez Cuban. He's going down for sure. He did the Boston bomb game with Conrad. Then Gowdy, she bailed out at the end, but she postponed my hearings for 5 months and they closed on it. And the last closing was in January 2022. And I was supposed to be done on the 3rd and they kicked me out to the end of January so they could close. So we're gonna ask her about that. Mark Wolf, ooh, Notre Dame Rough Rider, Notre Dame boy. He's the one that set up the AR-15 emails with Chris Shaw and Mazanowski, who's your voting guy in Hillsborough. Why is Robert Mazanowski allowed to be the voting chief? He needs to go to prison with his wife who did the Boston bomb, Sheila Sangvi. Then Delano, there's the bankruptcy court. Now I still have to do Charlotte County. I'm going to do the Parkland Judge Sharir. I got to do the FBI director. And I'm doing the engineers over in Sarasota because I turned in permits and they responded in 2014. And I'm not going to tell you the rest of them that I'm going to do. They're going to get it staggering in at the last minute. So they're all signed, everyone, subpoenas. And here's the point. If they don't show up, they're all in the same building, all these guys, upstairs, downstairs, and you're not allowed to talk to each other. So we need security on all their phones and internets to make sure that they're not coordinating on their cell phones, these judges with liaisons. So I'm going to get the feds and the media all throughout that building if I can. If they don't, then you know they're in on it. If they don't show up, then they're guilty. And these commissioners, they better answer that offer because that's what the questions you're going to ask. And the fraud transfer documents came in. They got them. So they should be arresting Jonathan Lewis, the past commissioners, a lot of these judges with the FBI, and definitely this 72 Partners gang And these Tampa judges over here that did this Boston, they have to go, man. They have to be detained for Title 18 with all their subordinates and all the public defenders and the state attorneys in these courts. They all knew. So every one of them back to 2011 is getting it next.